In yesterday's Liberal leadership debates, the person that the Liberals are about to coronate to become Prime Minister got caught in a major lie, huge lie. The thing is, though, there's virtually no mainstream media coverage of this lie. And I need to break this down for you because the lie is so big and so important right now that you all should be asking yourself why this isn't all over the CBC News loop, why this isn't all over the Global News loop. But before I break it down for you, I'm going to ask you to do something. Oftentimes you guys will ask me, well, how can I help? What are you doing? Right now, the Liberals have prorogued Parliament. They prevented me to speak on behalf of my constituents in the House of Commons and raise issues like this. So what I'm trying to do at the very least is get this information out while the Liberals have silenced parliamentarians and put in place censorship bills to stop news from being distributed on certain social media platforms. So folks, if you can help me out, click on the link that's in the comments. This is absolutely critical, especially when I tell you about this lie that happened. Click on the link that's in the comments. There's an article there that I just wrote about Chrystia Freeland. If you click on that and click subscribe, it's free. It allows me to directly communicate with you. It cuts out the middlemen of any social media platform, of the Liberal censorship bills, and it allows me to get this information to you. So please, this is free and it will take you 1 second. Just click on the link that's in the comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the video description. Please click subscribe so that I can tell you about these things as the Liberals have silenced Parliament. Okay, so what did Mark Carney do last night? Mark Carney in the Liberal leadership debates was asked about his decision as the chair of the multi-billion-dollar everything corporation, Brookfield, to move Brookfield's headquarters from Canada to the United States. Now, we're in the middle of a pretty significant tariff threat from the American government. There's a lot of people asking questions about how Canadian jobs are going to be prevented from essentially being sucked down into the US. And here you've got a man who, like very recently, made a decision. He was sitting on the, chairing the board of Brookfield when the company decided to move its headquarters from Canada to the United States. Now, he was asked about this last night in the Liberal leadership debates. And he essentially said he had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Why would he have anything to do with it? And it was a bold-faced lie. So there's actually documents that show, and I'm going to read it exactly. Mark Carney chaired the meeting where it was unanimously determined to move Brookfield's headquarters from Canada to the US. So he just flat out lied. And I mean, he thinks you're stupid, right? Because as the chair of the board, of course he would have known about a giant decision like this. Like, it's preposterous to think otherwise. It's entirely crazy. But yet he went on national TV last night and lied to the entire Canadian public. We have documents that prove this. In fact, like, it's the minutes of that meeting, right? My colleague Michael Barrett went out this morning to do a big press conference on this. You know what? It's crickets from the mainstream media. So, you know, I have questions. Do you remember that there was another Liberal leadership candidate? Her name was Christy Clark. She is the former premier of British Columbia, and she had kicked tires about a month ago to wanting to run. And she got caught in a lie on TV, and she was... she was kind of raked over the coals for it, and as she should have been. But why isn't the media vetting Mark Carney on this? Why is the media not making a big deal about this lie? Well, it's because there's a lot of people who just want to coronate Mark Carney because they're, the continued policies of Justin Trudeau that have ruined this country they all rest on Mark Carney becoming the leader of the Liberal Party. And why? Because Mark Carney's been the economic advisor to Justin Trudeau for years. He's been the one behind the scenes kind of pulling the strings on a bunch of these big decisions while he sat as the chair of the board of directors of Brookfield and on the board of directors of many other major corporations. And, he was on the board of directors, I believe, for the World Economic Forum. He was certainly actively involved with it for years. So this is a guy who has never had the best interests of Canada at heart. He's always put whose interest first? His, and that of his multi-billion-dollar companies. And last night, by showing that he would lie about something that was so absolutely obvious that he was going to get caught in this lie. What does that say about him? Well, it says that he doesn't care. He thinks you're stupid. He's arrogant. He doesn't think that he has to tell the truth. And it asks another question. It's if he's willing to lie about something as bald-faced and like basic as that, what else is he lying about? Well, I'm sure that he's lying about any types of promises that he's making the public right now. Like, do you really think that he's going to change his stripes from what he's been doing over the last several years, especially when all of Justin Trudeau's team is behind him? Of course not. So I think that's why we're not seeing a lot of, sort of traditional left-leaning, left-biased mainstream media covering this giant lie that was on TV last night. So folks, I have to ask you a couple of things. Many of you say like, well, what are you going to do about it? Well, as I said, the first thing and main thing I can do right now, given that the Liberals have done everything that they can to try and silence me, is get this information out to you. So I'm doing it through platforms like this, but we know that the Liberals have censorship bills, and some of these social media platforms have algorithms that downgrade certain types of voices. So that's number one. And this is why it's so critical that I need you to share this video and click subscribe on the link on the comments, because by subscribing to my newsletter, I can directly communicate with you at any point in time. So that's number one. Number two, I want to ask you to do something else. Many of you are saying like, okay, well, like, so what? What can we do about this? Most of the Liberal caucus have endorsed Mark Carney. They've come out, they especially the cabinet, Justin Trudeau's cabinet, they want to keep their cushy jobs, their car and drivers. They're not questioning him whatsoever. So if you live in a riding where there's a Liberal MP that has endorsed Mark Carney, just phone the office and say like, why are you endorsing a liar? Why aren't you holding him to account? This is a leadership race, right? He's not the prime minister yet. Why are you supporting somebody who just like flat out lies on TV? The other thing is they should be asking him why he won't disclose his ethics or his financial interests in these companies. He got really testy on the debate last night when the moderator actually asked him like, hey, why aren't you disclosing your financial assets and any potential conflicts of interest that any other elected MP has to do? And he's like, well, I'm in a leadership race. And it was like this dismissive, like, why would I have to talk to you, peasant sort of tone. Like, this is a guy who, like, he is one of the most globalist, elitist people possible. He, on these debates, he couldn't even answer with the question of like how much groceries were for a week for a family of 4, because he doesn't know. He's completely out of touch. And he feels so out of touch and so arrogant that he feels like he can just lie on these basic things, right? So folks, share this video, help me get the word out, in spite of the fact that the Liberals have censored parliamentarians, have censored so many people. Get the word out. Please click subscribe. Seriously, click subscribe, folks, so that I can directly communicate with you in the weeks ahead, and share this video. But this is crazy. It's crazy what he did. And conservatives, we're doing our best to research and put this information out to the public so that people are informed and understand what's going on. There's so much at stake for our country right now that we can't let people like Mark Carney get away with lies like he did last night. Working hard for you. Have a great day.